A discreet Swiss villa was the chosen location for the talks between the Croatian government and the rebel Serbs. Despite the looming spectre of war, the UN negotiator Thorvald Stoltenberg was only able to bring together relatively junior politicians, suggesting neither party had much hope of a serious breakthrough. Croatia is effectively demanding the ending of the 4-year-long rebellion by Serbs. Until now, the latter would only talk about minor matters such as railway links and oil pipelines. Late this afternoon, the talks ended inconclusively.
I think we have come closer to an agreement that at least I expected. We have not a finalized agreement, but I feel it's not far away.
While the Croatian representative said no real progress was made.
And unfortunately, they have not accepted these proposals for the implementation of the peaceful reintegration.
But almost simultaneously in Croatia, the US ambassador to Zagreb announced he'd been talking to the self-styled Prime Minister of Krajina, who had agreed to talk about reintegration.
Based on what he has said and the fact that he is the leader of the Krajina Serb Assembly and that his party has a majority, it is our view that negotiations should proceed, that there should be an opportunity to try and find a peaceful settlement, because a war would be enormously costly.
In the light of recent Croat gains, the conflicting signals today could be interpreted in different ways. Either both the Americans and the Krajina Serbs are just talking up the chances of a settlement to delay matters, or there's really been a significant shift by the rebel Serbs, realizing they lack support from the real power broker, President Milosevic of Serbia proper. Whatever the mediators say, the Croatian army is getting ready to fight on. There are reports from several potential flashpoints around Krajina that the military preparations are gaining a momentum which may now be hard to stop.
Our military assessment is that the Croatian forces are now either at or very soon approaching their optimum deployment. And as I say, they are battle ready and they are poised for offensive actions.
The Croatian forces, who helped their Bosnian Croat allies take 2 key Serb-held towns last week, have in the past 24 hours been reported to be pushing nearer the rebel Serb stronghold of Knin, provoking the Krajina army to bombard them from the air late yesterday. 3 jets which carried out the rocket attack are assumed to have taken off from Udbina airfield. It was hit by a NATO airstrike last November, though clearly not hard enough to put it out of action. But the Serb attack may simply convince President Tudjman of Croatia, who cut short his holiday today and met the German ambassador in Zagreb, that the time is ripe for his long-standing aim of reclaiming Krajina. There are reasons to think he's being tacitly encouraged by some key backers.
There is a growing current of thought in Washington that given that NATO and the UN have been unable to hold back the Serbs, let alone to roll them back, then maybe the Croatian army should be given the green light, as it were. It was quite noticeable that in a key meeting last week in Split between the Croatian and Bosnian presidents, the American ambassador played quite a critical role, and there are some allegations about US advisors being involved on the ground.
The escalation of tensions raising ghosts of the previous Serb-Croatian war. The ancient city of Dubrovnik, so badly damaged in 1991, has within the past hour been targeted again. The Bosnian Serb army, deployed just a few miles across the border from Croatian Dubrovnik, is reported to be shelling the area.
Since everything is interlinked in the Balkans, of course, one may expect that there will be a spillover into Bosnia, and we will see an escalation of the conflict here in Bosnia. And that is a problem. That's why we are urging restraint on the part of the government of Croatia, because if there's any military activity against the Krajina Serbs, we might see a serious escalation, for example, in southwestern Bosnia. We might see some Bosnian Serbs counteroffensives there. So it will become a serious problem.
And the ratcheting up of tension by Croatia in the past few days has proved that such shows of force are a dangerous double-edged weapon. Though a diplomatic breakthrough cannot be ruled out tonight, the more realistic signs are that the Serbs are ready to respond on the battlefield.